Hi, I'm Vishwa Satpathy, and I'm really excited to walk you through the secure task management system that I've built for the TurboWith scoring challenge. This is a full-stack application with role-based access control built using Nest.js, Angular, and TypeScript in a modern mono-web structure. So this is my README, where I've written project structure, architecture overview, features, tech stack, and setup instruction, and remaining all the details below with expected outcomes and responses with full detailed answers. So let me start with the installation procedure. So I have to clone the directory, clone the project into a directory. So this is my directory in my case. Then you have to run npm install. So this will install the node modules. This is the basic node modules. Then you have to do the same for backend and frontend. You have to go to cd apps API, and you have to go here. Then you have to run the npm command, and you'll get this node modules. And similarly, you have to go to dashboard and run this npm install to get this node modules. Since I've already done the steps, I'm gonna skip it. And let's go to the env part. So this is called env.example, which I've created. So you can directly write this command cp env.example.env, whereas the only thing you have to do is to change your secret with an actual secret, which is this in my case. So you can generate any secret using this command node-console. This is something I got from internet. So yeah, so once you're done with this, then you're all set to launch the application. This is same thing what is there in the env written here. Then you have to go to inside the backend apps API. Then you have to run the command npm run dev. My backend is running, and similarly you have to go to dashboard, which is the front end, and run npm start. The front end start running. Yeah, so our project is live. So as per our system, I will demo first of all what I've done. Later I'll walk through the code. So the first, when someone creates an account, that's by default the owner, and remaining subsequently when someone creates their account, they are called viewer. Test 1 2 3. Yeah, so this is how the owner logs in, and let's say I create a task, owner task, date 17, task by owner, create task. So as you can see, there's task here. Here I have option for to do in progress, completed. So I click completed. So these all get updated. I can edit my task owner by task created by owner, edited, save changes. You can see, and similarly I have delete options also. And let me create one immediately so that I can test the delete demo. Create task. I can delete it. Okay, so only the owner and admin have the option for view audit logs. You can audit logs. You can see here the task was created and it was updated. Then the task was created. Then I finally deleted one task. And this is, you can see, using hide. Then you hide audit logs and it's gone. So let's say there's one more feature for manage users, where I can see in the user management dashboard. Right now I only have user. Let's say I add someone. Say I add admin@gmail.com. I'm gonna make this guy as admin. Admin. Here I can specify the role as admin or viewer. Then I can see I have option to make him viewer here also. Then I have option to delete also. And let's say I back. Then if I log out, remaining everyone who wants to create the account will be by default created as a viewer. Let's say I create, saying the name abc tf abc@gmail.com. Just 1 2 3. So you can see this by default is a role as a viewer, and I can see all tasks. This was created by owner. Let's say I create a viewer task by viewer. Then I make this and I create the task. So you can see as a viewer I can only edit or delete my own task, but not the task created by the owner. The only thing I can do is make this changes, because let's say owner makes some task for the viewer to make it into in progress or something, that can be tracked off. And if I click my task, I only see the task created by me. So that's the role of viewer. Viewer can only create, edit, and delete tasks that are created by them and change this. And here they have the hierarchy. You see all tasks and my task. So I log out. Let's say log in using the admin that was created by the owner. So this is admin. So as you can see, admin has all the access as owner, except they cannot create someone as admin, and they cannot create another, and they cannot delete an admin. Delete an admin, delete an owner. So they can create task and do everything. Right now there's no task, so my task is 0. So I create admin task, admin's task, create task. You can see I have admin tasks done, and my task, you can get this, and even admin has the feature of view audit logs. So admin has all, like as I said, admin has all the tasks, except they can, like let's say I go to also how add user, like yeah. So admin can make a viewer. Admin cannot make any viewer as admin. That's the only way they can create a viewer. Let's say v@gmail.com, not x.com. Test at 1 2 3. Yeah, so they can only create a viewer. They cannot create any admin. They cannot delete any admin. They can delete the owner. So that's the restriction of viewer. That's the restriction of admin. And owner and admin have all the roles similar except this one. So that's pretty much about my demo. Let's dive back into the code. So where I will explain the deep understanding of rollback architecture. So let me start with the guards and decorators. So yeah, let's start with this auth decorators, then roles.decorators. Yeah, so now let me quickly show how I've enforced the security at the API layer. I created a custom decorator, and that works together. First I have roles decorator. Here you can see the roles decorator that specifies which role can access an endpoint. For example, user deletion is restricted to owners and admins only. So this is current user decorator. Now on top of that, let me show task controller. My bad. Task service. Sorry, not task, user controller. Yeah. So as you can see, I have used useGuard, where JWT auth guard and roles guard, they were the parameters that's been injected into it. So the role guard reads this decorator and check if the current user has the required role or not. This happened before any business logic runs, ensuring the security is enforced even at the security. Even at the service layer. My bad. Sorry. So let me show the permission matrix. Even I can show the task controller have the same thing. They have API tags using use cards in JWT auth card, and I mean they are being used as a decorator pattern. Similarly for organization controller, we have the same thing being used. Let me quickly show the permission matrix. Close this, close this, close this. This is the ER diagram that I've made. So yeah, so this is the permission matrix which I've been speaking about, what they can do and what they cannot do. Now let me quickly talk about my one of the most important technical implementation, that's NGRX state management. So let me go to that API, then source, then I have to minimize this, that's grading, yeah. So this is one of the most important part of NGRX state management. So the assessment specifically asked for NGRX, and I have to say it was a bit of learning curve for me. And I set up the store with 3 main sections: one for authentication, one for task, and one for users. So as you can see, there were 3 places: task, users, and authentication. And each section has its own actions, reducers, and effect. So let's say I go into one of the source app. I go into the let's say I go into dashboard, source app, then I go into the feature, dashboard components. Yeah, so here you can see it's extensively being used. Yeah, so let me continue. So as I said, they have their own actions, reducers, and effects. So what I really like about this approach is that it made my debugging so much easier. I can actually see every state change in the Redux DevTools, which was really nice to have. Plus the selectors help prevent unnecessary re-rendering, which keeps the app running smoothly. Like I can have all the control, I can see the state change over here, and I mean it was pretty helpful for debugging, especially when things go rough. Yeah. So now I can talk about the JWT integration I had with the access control. Let's go to backend again, API source auth. Here I have JWT. Yeah, so this is the JWT integration I have. I made sure to use the real JWT tokens as the assignment specifically mentioned. This token include the user's role and organization ID, and we validate this on each and every single request. I set up an HTTP interceptor on the front end that automatically adds the token to call the API. Like that's the pretty standard way of doing this. And yeah, I mean this was pretty straightforward. Then let me talk about the database design. I mean this was a bit of work for me where I specifically struggled. Let me start with entities where I can show source, then entities, user entity. Yeah, so this is how I have made my database. I mean there are all 4 entities I have declared. So while designing the database, I made sure to set up proper relationship between all the entities, and like user belong to organization, tasks are created by users and also belong to organization, and audit logs track everything users do. So that's what I've shown in the demo. So one of the most trickiest part was when I deleted a user. I mean I haven't shown right now. Okay, let's say this is admin. Okay, manage users. Let's say I delete a user. So right now you can see it's deleted, and let's say I view audit logs, refresh it. Yeah, so you can see the delete work is being done. But actually I struggled it because I kept the foreign key constraint error. I got this foreign key constraint error because there were still task and audit log referencing that user, and which was pretty accepted. Then I had to figure out the right order to delete things, which took me a bit of trial and error. But anyways, I was able to do it. So I mean, yeah, so I spent a bit of time debugging that part, especially how to delete the record first and then delete the user. But anyways, that was a bit of fun. Then coming to one of my challenge was, it was a front-end challenge. So every time I go to manage users and I add a user, here you can see the role as viewer, here you can see the role as viewer. If I log in as an owner, even those things are smooth right now, but while developing I was struggling a place also right now. Manage users. Yeah, so even though I've created the admin as admin, it would get selected as viewer, even though in the backend it's admin, in the front end everywhere it's admin, but except this drop down I was having issue. So it was quite frustrating for me. But then I realized I was making a very silly mistake. The backend was using string literals, but for the front end it needs to handle both enum values and string. I ended up creating some helper methods to normalize everything, but yeah, it took a few time to do. So that's kind of pretty much what my work has been. So like if I talk about what more I could have done, there were definitely a lot of things I could have done. Firstly, the UI, it's pretty simple. The ask was to have toggles, I mean have dark skin mode and drag and drop for the task, which is something I could have done, but because of time constraint I was able to. Then secondly, I could have implemented real-time WebSockets. That would have been really cool. When someone updates the task, I get it immediately. That's one of the backend part I could have done, and in front end I could have done a lot of scope. But given the time constraint, I could have done that. But anyways, thanks for hearing. Have a good day. Bye bye.